Hello! Looking serious I am? Serious enough to mention the word or, syllables, or UAP. A lot of people talk about it, but I think, in my opinion, they don't know what they're talking about, but some do. Sources of information, well, I was on the DOD's SBIR program since 83 to 2005 when they went digital, about that time. But I was privy to a lot of cool documents, and I have a bunch still. My document piles were so huge from CIA folks. John Wright, privacy coordinator, just to make sure that I'm not making this up, right? Then must you think I'm crazy as hell, or just totally nutty as a lunatic? But that's okay. I don't care. It's a good barrier, a good shield. So yeah, I had a huge pile that was almost impossible to move it around, and I got rid of a lot of it. I thought, oh well, I don't really need. But I got a couple of maybe 120 pounds, 150 pounds of letters and stuff and documents and all that stuff left, but kept the good stuff. It's sort of the other stuff I got rid of it. If you're studying it, you should look into Dr. Elizabeth Ann Rauscher, Men and Women of Science, good friend of mine who stayed with me for a month some years ago, a few years ago. Ken Shoulders, D. Scott Rogo, William Tiller. Ha, Ken Shoulders. Did I mention that already? Plus many others, actually. Dr. William Rowe, Neotic Science Institute, located at 3220 Sacramento Street with Henry Dakin's building. Edgar Mitchell was in charge of it at the time. I met a lot of scientists over the years, okay? Germany. In Germany, I met a lot. Gottfried Hilscher, journalist who took care of the DESI classified documents, which he loaned me for 2 weeks to read. And one of the students wrote up a report on my stuff, which I have, okay? But getting back to UAPs, yeah, there's a lot of talk, but you gotta have proof. Seen proof too, and I met a contractor through Brian Borodale, who demonstrated to me a portable kind of anti-gravity device. It's very small. You could hold in his hand, and it had a kind of C shape to it, and it levitated a pyramid, tiny little pyramid like that. He saw one of my demonstrations, gave me $100. That's the best demo I ever seen. That was way in the '80s, for Pete's sake. So, folks, come on, get out of the program. But I forget his name. But Brian Bordale, being a driver of limos, was a good friend of mine, and he'd bring over these contractors who would see the demo, along with Stan Reddick, who brought Tesla's old friend around, Thomas Lee Richardson, which I have some of his publications in my document file. Okay, brag, John. Well, yeah, because gotta brag a little bit, because most people think I'm loopy as sin. Or they just ignore it. Oh, it's just John, he's crazy. But that's okay. Right. So, Thomas Lee Richardson passed away, by the way, years ago, in the '80s, I believe. We tried to save the Tesla documents, but unfortunately, in Cantor Realty on Granville Street, said, well, the provincial government is holding that for relatives over in England. Okay, we'll stop that story right now. Okay. What else? So I started with UAP, so Dr. Rocher. There's many. I have letters from René Louis, valet of France. His friend is Andrea Sakharov, who he sent me a pile of papers. They're all in Russian, so I need somebody to decode it. I have stuff in Russian, German, and Japanese that I need all decoded someday. Hopefully that can happen. before I go to the second dimension or whatever it is. But wow, who else? Lots. Ron Weinstock, another scientist friend. I know hundreds. Sorry, Andrea Puharich. A long time ago. Mel Winsfield's group, who took photographs and videos of levitation stuff, as seen on his book, I believe, or mentioned in his book. Who else? There have been others coming and going. SAIC. I was way in the early 80s, for God's sake. But there's many scientists I have met, Boyd Bushman, through emails, and his friend Rex Webb, who I'm still in contact with, by the way. Thomas E. Beard and his group. Okay. Jack Houck, McDonnell Douglas Aerospace, Colonel John Alexander, respectively, still alive, and we meet up sometime soon. Oh my God, how many others do I know? Lots of them, for Pete's sake. Dr. Bud Durand of DARPA. A lot of folks. Because TV shows air and they know no boundaries, you know. But I know Los Alamos National Laboratories is working on antimatter and anti-gravity. In the report, when was that, in the 80s? Wow, already in the 80s. Good friend who lived in Bellingham, Dr. Robert Forward, on antimatter. Some publications are online at dtic.mil. If you put in names, some things come up, some do not. But UAPs, yeah, field structures, antimatter, and magnetic effects, which I kind of fall in the area of electromagnetic, electrostatic effects, I guess. I don't know. But we're talking about UAPs. I do have pictures of some of those things, which I showed yesterday in one of my crazy videos. Pictures. I got pictures and all the negative to those UAPs. Being basically myself, not a scientist, not an inventor, over-glorified junk collector, and I love working with things and doing it as I feel like I should do it. I never wrote anything up, and I'll try and explain what I'm doing, okay? Who understood Dr. Harold? Oh yeah, I forgot that group. Who visited me in person, filmed stuff, and took off. Dr. Harold, not Pusa. Dr. Harold Wilson, Lauren A. Kuhn, Dr. Loken, Colonel Timothy Deere from Ottawa, who I have all his letters, by the way, Deputy Prime Minister Eric Nielsen, Dr. Andrew Markowski, and his group. Am I missing anybody? I think I am. Brag. John is bragging today. I just wanted to mention I saw something about UAPs, and it's a channel or something that's a YouTube channel, but I don't know where it is. I haven't found it yet. But what else? Where do we see good demonstration? Ron Weinstock had a lot of good stuff. Thousand Oaks, California. I kind of avoid people who like to draw out diagrams and talk and have nothing to show, whereas the scientists I so far mentioned had stuff to show and written up. Some of the DESI scientists, I can't remember the names, all heavy German names, but I have that report on myself. Might mention their names. I have the full report Bill Ross wrote up, and Jack Houck and others. Canadian government folks thought it was maybe a matter of national security. I have that in writing. I have everything in writing before I talk about it because you think I'm crazy. Okay? Okay, good. I love the work of Bob Greener analyzing metal samples. He's found out a lot of cool information I didn't know about him. But I sold most of them on eBay, right? And the most recent ones I gave to an eBay seller down south in appreciation for his efforts in getting me goodies. So, which is some months ago, actually, a couple of months ago. Oh, let me think. A lot of great scientists. But there's a lot of new ones out who I have no idea who they are. I listen to them talk, but heap, big smoke, no fire, as the natives would say. Very old days, a lot of fire. Like, wow, what Ken Shoulders was doing his EVOs. I was in his laboratory, Bodega, California. We have Gordon Novell and his group. Very interesting group of people who I communicated a lot with. Because Colonel Alexander invited me to meet up with Gordon in, I think it was 2006, for Pete's sake, and we got together and all that stuff happened until he passed away. So it's a video that Nancy did with Gordon and myself. Check it out on Nancy's YouTube channel. What else? I met Thomas E. Bearden in person in Denver, Colorado. Dr. Hal Putoff, brilliant scientist who was in Vancouver with me for a couple of days. And we have very interested politicians like Dennis Kucinich, who I was with for a short time, and Berkeley Bedell, who came all the way from Washington, D.C. to stay, visit, and talk about stuff with his wife, Eleanor. Unfortunately, he passed away. There's many others that I communicated with, at least. A number of them showed up in person. Thank you. And there's unknown stuff that I've forgotten too, which appears once in a while on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so UAP. Some of them actually have landed on Earth and broke up. I kept those documents from CIA, John M. Wright. I got maybe 4 pages. So I'm going to be probably called out. Oh, can you upload them? How can you do this and do that? Could you do this and do that? I have videos. It's all on a hard drive. Everything's on a big hard drive. I got videos I even forgotten about. Like I forgot about Dr. Kuntz. Robert Kuntz, very close friend, who put me up on videos and information. He worked with NSA for a while and others. Thanks, Robert. Oh, wow. So, going on, as I free associate and other names come to my mind, Tesla's work was unique, and when duplicating it, you got to follow it to the letter. You just can't wind a Tesla coil and modern stuff, and that doesn't work too well. Right? Right. You know that. Although my Japanese friend wound a super coil in Hiroshima City. When that thing fired up, there was weird stuff happening. Huge 2 Tesla coils. Massive sparks. Oh, there's a Hiroshima lab. Nobody talks about that. And I can upload the videos and all that. I have them because the main media in Japan covered the story on Mr. Yamabe-san and yours truly, me. What other countries? England. But I should keep going on with scientists. UAP. Maybe one of my friends through emails was head of the Air Force Division Advanced Technology, a Pentagon Hopefully I'll meet him someday. His name escaped me, but should I dare mention his name? But, just got an email from him on LinkedIn. But I'm not, maybe not. Maybe I'm not supposed to mention his name. I think it was a guest with Timmy Ventura one time. Well, I'll mention his name. Major Peter Garrison, since he's public now, so. NASA's is Mark Millis, NASA Group. A lot of NASA people are doing interesting stuff. The challenge to create the warp drive is another one. Group. So, forgive me if I don't mention 100 names, because unless I write it down, I can mention 100 names or more if you want. But personally met for short periods of time or weeks or years. Close friends, right, Evio? Like, you are a very close little fellow. So just mention that. If you want to leave a comment, maybe, but don't talk gibberish or do I know this person. I get those comments. Do you know this guy? What's that supposed to mean? It's just, you ever heard of John Searle? Well, of course, but he's fake. A bunch of other nuts, you know? It's just amazing amount of, do you know this person? No, I don't think so. Or you should do this or do that. No, I don't. Tell me what to do. Just mention real names. That'd be really cool. Like, people really doing something. Not allowed blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I'm having fun talking today, and there's some stupid junk to upload on YouTube and Funbook. I finally got back on Funbook. I mean, it is fun, actually. A lot of expressions you could do. So I made a couple of funny videos. I think I look hot in them. How about you? What do you think? You're too embarrassed to talk about it? Okay, I understand. I know, it's your inner mind. Dare not ever mention something like that. Wow. Bound by religion and laws. People are brought up in a certain way, you know. Anyway. Brought up with non-interference of my thinking, thank God. Never went to school. Never went to kindergarten. Do your own research. Find out cool stuff. As I said before, in other videos, I have this little weird thing in my head that says, yeah, that's true. Or it's not true. Fabrication. People do like to fabricate a lot of junk. Another dedicated scientist friend I know is Inventor 3, Paul Mueller, who's done a lot of work on free energy. His YouTube channel is Inventor 3. Check it out. Come on. Another Tesla person who's done a lot of work too. Tesla cult. Actual veteran. I've met a number of veterans. One of them came to visit me all the way from Afghanistan. Patrick Walker. He stayed with me for the weekend and we explored all the stuff going on. 2005. Patrick's, I think, on Facebook. He's building vehicles. He has an amazing military record. I believe he led a squadron, or he was... But yeah, Patrick is still in contact with him. I talked with him some years ago. Oh, Patrick. So, anyway, getting back to UAP. Sure it's not birds you're looking at? a lot of people with weird names nowadays too that talk. Some of them could be legit, some of them could not be. I don't know, and I don't know these people. I have no idea. I mean, I'd always loved meeting people, which I've met many, like hundreds and hundreds of. Somebody to come around asking questions and not do anything. I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave that to the future. Thank God I'm isolated and nobody comes around. Not much. I think Nicole Ortberg's friends came here one time. Some local good people came here. I'm waiting on a doctor and a few others that keep sending me emails. I might come here. Oh, sheesh. Other names. Oh my God, from Lawrence Berkeley. Yeah, I remember those guys. My God. I had an address book with their names and all their addresses. Somewhere in my pile of papers, I guess. Anybody know Ron Kissinger? Who is he? I got lots of letters from him. Just saw the name and I remember. I don't. Oh, I remember those letters. Who else? I'm trying to think. The King's something or other in England. Santa. A group in England, and he called himself Santa. Luckily, I had these things copied by the copy shop, printed out, and duplicated. Yeah, there's a lot of folks that really are good people that know their stuff, could tolerate a lunatic like me. Poor Jimmy Ventura, who is another person with sources, somehow tolerated me and actually visited me along with his friend, Harold Burnt, B-E-R-N-T, who filmed and made in 2006 a new energy source in my apartment. Now, when he filmed that, there was a huge amount of stuff swaying like this, moving around. Later, I found the dead center of the apartment seemed to be a large crack in plywood. Oh, studying this and looking at it, what's going on here? Nobody complained, except later on people complained because their ornaments started flying around. They know who to point at because they saw the TV shows. I did demonstrating stuff for Fox and Discovery Channel. Okay, so UAP. Well, okay, so maybe I should listen to the new groups. I don't know what they're talking about anyway, but we'll see. But I should shut up and get going. I'm expecting an arrival of a half-ton magnet coming today and some steel from Cormac Metals. So I could be on the alert to run and get ready here to do it. So that's my little spiel for now. I did some other videos of me looking sexy and hot, which is okay. So everybody should think sexy and hot.